Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call I'm La, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostle that was a great millstone who will teach one and hearty shalom to the elect. All right, I want to say to Wadi Yahweh Yahushai for allowing me to do this lesson. All right, the lesson is going to stem from me listening to the book of Ezekiel over the weekend, especially on Sunday, when I was doing my round. You don't know, but I was doing my roundabout things in the house, cleaning, meal prepping, things of that nature. And while I was listening to the book of Ezekiel, and I was listening into it in the G&T, the 5th chapter came to mind as I was listening to it about all the rebellious things that our people do now. And compared to what they do back in the day, it's the same thing, okay? All right. And, since I said that, let me get this in Ecclesiastes real quick. Where the scripture, I'm going to just Google it, not Google it, but look it up in the blue letter. Because where it says there's no new thing under the sun. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. It says, that has been, it is that which shall be. So the things that were prior is going to come up again. And that which is done is that which is done is that which shall be done. And there's no new thing under the sun. So my point in saying that is the rebellion of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians is just as the same as it is now when it was back then in the times of us coming out of Egypt, when the Lord Solomon, when I say Lord, because he is Yahushua, Solomon, he was out there doing right by the Lord, and then he got converted to idolatry through the women that he was dealing with. King Saul was another example of defiance and rebellion against the Lord, but ultimately the whole nation of Israel was an example and defiance of rebellion against the Lord, okay? So let me get this definition for rebellion. I'm trying to make it quick because these dang phones, my phones are dying. All right, let me see, rebellious. All right, so this is in Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 9. And then I'm going to just read the precept, but the premise of this lesson is going to be in Ezekiel, the 5th chapter. It says here, as an adamant harder than flint I have made thy forehead, fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And I just want to get the word rebellious here. It's going to mean the same in any context of what it says in regards to the precept, because the main key is the word rebellious or rebellion. And here it says rebellious or rebellion. It says bitter, rebellious, concretely bitterness or bitter. So I'm gonna look up the word rebellion. And it says an uprising, defiance, an act of violent or open resistance to an established government or rule. And the Lord has given us law, statutes, and commandments. Go read the book of Exodus, okay? Where the Lord gave us law, statutes, and commandments via the hand of Moses, okay? Let me get you the exact precept the exact book that you need to be looking at. It's 24. Yep, it's 24, all right? Exodus 24. And that is where the covenant was solidified, and or the laws that the Israelites said that they were going to keep between themselves and the Lord was solidified there. And as we did none of the things that the Lord has commanded us to do, he punished us and he forgave us. He punished us and forgave us. He punished us and forgave us. This time we're in our last punishment. He's going to forgive us and deliver us up out of here. That's what we're hoping for. That's all we got, all right? Literally, that's all we have, all right? So I looked up what does it mean to be rebellious, okay? It says, Google definition, showing a desire to resist authority, control, or convention uh, of a person, city, or state engaged in opposition or armed resistance to an established government or ruler. All right, so it says here, what does it mean when a person is rebellious? A rebellious person is someone who resists or defies authority, rules, social norms, or traditions. All right, these traditions goes back to the tradition that our people have resisted. Okay, the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, the commandments, the laws, and statutes are our traditions, and we have resisted those. We have come against those. Okay, we have despised those. Okay, because of the things that we have done contrary to His way. Okay, and the thing that we have done most wickedly, all right, is the abomination of idol worshiping. All right. It says here, someone who resists or defies authority, rules, societal norms, or traditions, showing a strong desire for independence and challenging the status quo through non-conformity, disobedience, or protest. All right. So that's what we did. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me see. All right, I'm going to read this in Ezekiel, the 25th chapter. This is Ezekiel chapter 18 and 23. It says, I have any pleasure at all that the wicked should die, saith Yahweh, and not he that should return from his ways and live. But when the righteous turn away from his righteousness and committeth iniquity, and doeth according to all abominations that the wicked man doeth, shall he live. All his righteousness that he have done shall not be mentioned in his trespass that he have trespassed, in his sin that he have sinned, in them shall he die. And that's what happened to the nation of Israel. We were given a righteous way, okay, but then we went and followed the ways of the other nations, and we died. Literally, the Lord killed us, and we came back, we did the same things. The Lord killed us, and in this time, fast forward all the way to America 2025, our people are still doing the same thing, and I have a few examples, and they're going to die in their doings, okay? Let me show this example. Let me see if I can find it. I think I saved it from TikTok or from here. Or it might have been on TikTok. All right, here goes one of them. Now look at this nonsense with the nigger woman and her daughter. That's enough of that tomfoolery. So you see that they were trying to get an abominable piece of food that is escaping them, okay? and with it escaping them, it should show you that you shouldn't be eating it, all right? And within one of the laws that we have, okay, about food that comes from the sea, it doesn't say anything in regards to us eating that, okay? This is Leviticus chapter 11, and verse 9. It says, "These shall you eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters and the seas and in the rivers, them shall you eat." A crab and a lobster, the seafood boils that our people are so engulfed in spending all their money on for food that, from my understanding, they used to be fed to prisoners and the poor, okay? Our people have made that, the world has made that a delicacy, and the so-called black man, woman, and her child has clung unto that because that is the way the world shows. But in the sense of them being rebellious, the law tells us not to go that way. Okay, but our people do it. It says here, "And all that have not fins and scales in the sea and in the rivers, and of all that move in the waters of the living things which are in the waters, they shall be an abomination to you." Okay. It says the crabs, the lobsters, anything without fins and scales is an abomination to you. All right, and our people are clinging to that just based on this video, with them trying to catch it and put it in the water. Okay, all right, just the typical Israelite woman doing Israelite woman things. Okay, all right, and I don't mean that in a positive manner. Okay, here goes another instance where women, specifically black women, so-called black women, but their conduct makes them to match up with the word black, are being rebellious towards the Lord.
Get that book out of my face. God called me to be a preacher. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. I don't care what this damn book says. God called me to preach, period. I have a doctorate in divinity. Plus, I'm in an established sorority. I rebuke this book. We are not under the law. We are under grace. Get that book out of my face.
Now you see, even though it's a depiction of a cartoon, but art imitates life, right? And the woman just read out of her mouth that what I believe Paul was teaching in the book of Titus, all right? Let me grab it. Oh, it's 1 Timothy, Salakia. All right. So I said Titus, but Salakia. So it's 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 12. It says the place and the dress of a woman. All right. So it says in like manner also, this is 12 and 1 Timothy 2 and 9. In like manner also, the woman adorn herself in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Salakia, but which becometh woman professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay, and with that word subjection, in my footnotes it says submission. All right, this woman in this clip did not show any type of submission even to the word of God, right? Who she says she believes in, right? But the fashions of the world gave her pride and told her that she's better than what the God of the Bible says. Okay, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. All right, she was quoting right out of the Bible, where she threw back into the Lord's face, saying that she's not going to follow it because she has a doctrine in divinity, right? Well, the book of the Bible is the best book that you can learn from. Let me grab that. This is Isaiah chapter 30. This is Isaiah 34 and 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, and read. None of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth hath commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. All right, so there's no book other than these scriptures, the 1611 King James Bible in its totality, going into the Apocrypha, all right, where it gives us history. As a matter of fact, this was a precept I wanted to read, and I'm about to give it now that I mentioned it. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 28. It says, for as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. Right? And there was a brother named Sha'ar, still is a brother, right? In the Dallas camp, when I was first learning and coming in, he divided some stuff up to me. He's like, hey, you got 24 hours in a day. Right, and the tithes, going into the tithes, you're supposed to give 10% of your earnings. So give 2 hours and 40 minutes of your day to the Lord, as much as you possibly can, because that's seeking the Lord 10 times more, right? But that just shows you, hey, brothers be thinking spiritually, but we need to be giving time to the Lord. So I just want to read a few examples of where Israel has, committed apostasy against the Lord. All right, let me see. All right, so this is just a quick, because I don't know how much longer my phone has before it dies. It says here, just Google examples of Israel's rebellion. All right, so it says examples of Israel's rebellion primarily from the Old Testament include worshiping the golden calf, refusing to enter into the promised land, complaining about food/water, and later idolatry and apostasy during the periods of judges and kings, like the northern kingdom's persistent worship of Baal. The acts involve consistent pattern of disobeying Yahweh's commandments, turning to other gods, and lacking faith in his promises, leading to consequences like wilderness, wandering, and exile. Okay? All right? All those things that the Lord said he would do to us are part of his word and his promises, and he has kept those. So just as the word has kept what we would deem as bad, or the punishments from the Lord that he put upon us, we need to make sure that we hold the Lord to his promises and have faith in what he said he was going to do, because he has completed the things that he said he was going to do to us in the sense of our punishment and or what the world would deem as bad. So keep that same energy when it comes to the promises that the Lord said, that the Lord has made between us and himself and the Israelites. Okay, all right. But I'm gonna just go ahead and end it right there. We have been rebellious. All right. And you can read Judges, the 2nd chapter. You can read 1 Kings, the 12th chapter. You can read the Maccabean revolt, okay? Even in the New Testament, all right? When you read in the Apocrypha, after Alexander the Great died, the Israelites went to the Grecians or the Greeks, okay, to go get licenses to do the things that they did, right? The wickedness that they did, all right? So it's all over in the Old and New Testament, the wickedness and the rebellion of you so-called Negro Latinos and Native American Indians. But it has to stop. This is the time where it stops, because World War III is coming. The digital currencies are already being pushed out in a sense, okay? Digital IDs is what I mean. Digital currencies is coming next, all right? And then the MOTB. All right, these things are coming, but you got to keep your eye out for them, because if you're not watching, you're going to be taken unawares when the Lord returns. Lord, we was edified to the next time. Shalom.